Hello, everyone. In this final video for section 3.1 on the definite integral, we're going to take a look at how to interpret the units of an integral. So far in most of these examples, when we've looked at the integral over a function, our function itself has been a derivative function. So a derivative is a rate of change. I'm going to write that out. Rate of change. So if we're using x's as inputs and y's as outputs, then the units of our derivative is the units of y over units of x. And then dx is a change of x, which is just units of x. So when we compute an integral of a rate of change function, what we get in the end, these x units cancel, and we just get y units. So that's another explanation of how when we're computing an integral, when we're adding up rates of change, we get an accumulation of the quantity that we are using in our original output. So this will make more sense the more examples we do. So let's go ahead and look at this last example, number 8. It says, suppose the function MR of Q is the marginal revenue in dollars per item for selling Q items. What does the integral from 0 to 150 of MR of Q dQ represent? So let's look at a unit level. MR of Q, marginal revenue, tells us the dollars of revenue over items, or the revenue per item. dQ, change of item amount, just tells us how many items. So our units here become just revenue. And when we're computing an integral or adding up the area under a curve between two input values, what we're computing is the net change over that interval. So for us, our interval is from 0 to 150. So we're looking at the net change of revenue from 0 to 150 items. These limits of integration are also the units of Q, or units of our input. And that's, again, as we've seen when we've done all of these examples, we've looked at our interval where we're taking an interval along the horizontal or input axis. So for us, if we want to draw this picture, it looks something like this, 0 to 150. Maybe our marginal revenue looks like this. So we're computing the entire area under that curve, which is the total accumulation or the change, net change of revenue from 0 to 150 items, which for us, since we're starting at 0, would be the revenue for 150 items. And that's, again, because in this case, we are starting at the 0. But in general, it tells us the net change between those limits of integration.